Good morning, this is Mike Houston with your Sunday morning weather hazard briefing for southeast Idaho. Looking at satellite imagery this morning, we have a low pressure system positioned near Vancouver Island with plenty of Pacific moisture streaming inland across southern Idaho. If we look further upstream, we can see a few disturbances here working through the Pacific, and then another one working out through the Aleutian chain here. All of those will come into play during the forecast period. Looking at the regional radar loop this morning, we did have a corridor of precipitation ongoing from here at Portland through McCall over to Butte, Montana. We are getting some stray showers through the Central Mountains and northern or upper Snake River Plain into Driggs area here. We will see some increasing precipitation across the area tonight as some of this precipitation drifts a little further south. Looking at road conditions this morning, we were having on the ITD side here some difficult conditions listed up here in the northeast highlands. I know grip levels here in the Central Mountains were also poor, and that all extending over into the Sun Valley, Stanley Basin region. All right, looking at our forecast graphics for this morning, that low near Vancouver Island really doesn't go anywhere for the next few days. We continue to see moisture streaming in off the Pacific right through southern Idaho. Daytime highs today expected to remain in the teens and 20s across most of the region, maybe mid-30s down here in the Magic Valley. Thus, we are expecting snowfall. The heavier stuff focused to the Central Mountains and upslope regions of the Northeast Highlands here, but upwards of 1.5 feet in the Central Mountains, and similar readings over here in the Eastern Highlands. You get down into the Snake River Valley, especially along the I-86, I-15 corridor here. Snow amounts will probably register less than an inch in most places. There will be some areas in the Snake River Plain, like from Shoshone up through Craters of the Moon, and then some of these other areas from Rexburg northward that may be experiencing some consequential snowfall, 1 to 3 inches in some places. And that's a 24-hour total for today through tonight. We will have a little bit of wind ongoing with that as well, which may cause some blowing and drifting. As we advance to Monday, like I said, you don't see much change here. Low still near Vancouver Island. Moisture still streaming in across southern Idaho. Temperatures warming some. We have our readings generally in the upper 20s and 30s in the Central Mountains and Eastern Highlands, and we see some 30-degree readings within the Snake River Plain and maybe getting up into close to the lower 40s here in the Burley area come Monday afternoon. Wind will continue through Monday. Here we are looking at just regular old wind speeds of 20 to 30 miles per hour through the Snake River Plain, and some similar readings here across the mountains of the central and southern mountains. So certainly going to continue with some blowing and drifting snow in those regions. Snowfall for Monday through Monday night, again, upwards of 1 foot and 1.5 feet in the Central Mountains and Eastern Highlands. You see some extension of that higher snowfall down into the Bear Lake region. And again, the I-86, I-15 corridor here, relatively light on the snowfall, less than an inch, but there are places out in the Snake Plain here from Arco to Craters of the Moon that may pick up some more significant snowfall in areas north of Rexburg. That low pressure system still sitting here on Tuesday with moisture streaming up through the region. Maybe a little warmer here. We got this more of a west-southwest flow across the region. Temperatures are nosing up into the mid-40s here in the eastern Magic Valley. Still see high temperatures ranging in the upper 20s and 30s across the mountainous regions, however. So cold enough to support snow most areas, except perhaps a rain-snow mix in the Burley to Pocatello region. Winds still a problem. Here we are looking at 20 to 25 mile an hour wind speeds across the Snake River Plain and central and southern highlands. So again, blowing snow associated with any of the snowfall that we do have. Again, The 24-hour snow accumulation for Tuesday through Tuesday night, a little lighter, generally in the 6 to 12 inch range here in the Central Mountains and across the Eastern Highlands. Still along the Interstate 86 I-15 corridor, generally less than an inch. Wednesday, a little change. We continue to see this moist conveyor belt streaming in across southern Idaho, so bringing snow to the region. Temperatures not changing much here on Wednesday, generally readings in the 30s in the mountains and mid-30s to mid-40s here in the Snake River Plain and eastern Magic Valley. Winds a little lighter, but still breezy enough to be pushing snow around in some areas. And 24-hour snow total here for Wednesday through Wednesday night, dropping off a bit here, maybe in the 5 to 10 inch range here in the Central Mountains and Eastern Highlands. We are starting to see some accumulations out into INL that may be of some consequence, but generally along the I-86 and I-15 corridor here, fairly light. Okay, finally, advancing to Thursday, we start to see this low-pressure system kicking inland. We will see a fairly decent amount of precipitation across the region, especially with a cold front that is expected to accompany this low working through the region here Thursday afternoon. So we'll see some pretty good precip along that front, along with some very breezy winds. Temperatures may be a little ambitious here for Thursday. In fact, that might be the highs for the day will be earlier in the morning. We should see falling temperatures in the afternoon as that front goes through. And as I promised, certainly going to have winds across the entire region with that front moving through, 20 to 30 miles per hour sustained throughout the Snake River Plain here and the central and eastern mountains. I just have a snow total here for Thursday, just during the day. So we're looking at things beginning to wind down a little bit, but somewhere in the 4 to 8 inch range here up in the Stanley Basin. Some lighter amounts, 2 to 4 here along the Eastern Highlands, and picking up some accumulations down here in the Snake River Plain. But after Thursday, into Thursday evening and Friday, we should begin to see things taper off. So with all of that, we do have some highlights ongoing through today and continuing through Tuesday. I fully expect that we'll extend some of these warnings and advisories out to maybe certainly Wednesday, maybe even into Thursday with that front going through and some blowing snow. But for right now, warnings ongoing here in the Central Mountains and Eastern Highlands for snow. And then we have advisories here in the Snake River Plain and interior valleys of the Central Mountains. And then areas south and east of Pocatello here in the blue, these are all advisories. Probably a combination of snow and blowing snow in these regions may cause issues between now and Tuesday. On Friday, promise you this is my last graphic here. On Friday, that low is east of the region. We get into a dry northwest flow, going to be turning very cold. And then we'll have to wait till Sunday. There's a hint of a system you can see here on the screen beginning to make its way up towards Northern California. We may see some of that precipitation into the region here Sunday and Monday. Temperatures on Friday, I promised they would be colder. I know that my forecast is colder than this. It'll probably generally be in the 20s in the mountains and 30s here in the Snake River Plain, so maybe a little colder than this graphic is indicating. Certainly some wind, not much, and lighter than what we saw on Thursday, but still enough to push any loose snow around. Here we are looking at wind speeds of generally 10 to 20 miles per hour. That's all I had for you today. If you had any comments or questions or needed additional information, please give us a call here at the number on the screen. Thank you.